Okay, today we're looking at Grade 5, Module 1, Lesson 1. Reason concretely and pictorially using place value understanding to relate adjacent base 10 units from millions to thousands. So our first problem we're going to look at, it says, divide single units by 10 to build the place value chart to introduce thousands. So that's what we're looking to do. So when we come to our place value chart, we see we have millions, hundred thousands, 10,000s, thousands, hundred thousands, tens, ones, tenths, hundreds, and thousands. So this year in 5th grade, thousands is new, as is millions and hundred thousands. So we start by putting a single disk in the millions place, which stands for 1 million. 1 million, if we to change it to hundred thousands, rename it as hundred thousands, we will get 10 hundred thousands. If we then take those 10 hundred thousands and divide it by 10, we would be left with 100,000. Therefore, 10 hundred thousands divided by 10 equals 100,000. 1 million divided by 10 would equal 100,000. Therefore, 100,000 is 1/10 as large as 1 million. So dividing by 10 is the same as saying something is multiplying by 1/10. Okay, in this example, we're looking to understand what it means to multiply by 10, or multiplying copies of 1 unit by 10. So in our first problem, we have 4/10 times 10. So here is 4/10 times 10, and we know that 4 ones is 10 times greater than 4/10. So we have 4/10. Moving on, we now have 4 hundredths times 10, and 4 hundredths times 10, well, 4/10 would be 10 times greater than 4 hundredths. And finally, 4 thousandths times 10, and 4 hundredths would be 10 times greater than 4 thousandths. In this problem, we're looking for a series of division problems with patterns to follow. So first, we're going to do 6 divided by 10. So here, 6 we divided by 10, we get 6/10. 6/10 is 1/10 of 6. In this problem, we have 6 divided by 100. We get 6 hundredths. 6 hundredths is 1/100th of 6. Hundredths. And in our final example, 6 divided by 1,000. Well, 6 is 1,000th, or greater than 6 thousandths, or 6 thousandths is 1/1000th of 6. Okay, in this problem number 4, we want to multiply multi-digit numbers by 10, by 100, and by 1,000. So we multiply by 1. Each place value is going to be multiplied by 10. 2 tens is 10 times greater than 2 ones. 4 ones is 10 times greater than 4/10, and 3 tenths is 10 times greater than 3 hundredths. In this example, times 100, 200 is 100 times greater than 2 ones. 4 tens is 100 times greater than 4/10, and 3 ones is 100 times greater than 3 hundredths. And finally, times 1,000, 2 thousandths is 1,000 times greater than 2 ones. 4 hundredths is 1,000 times greater than 4/10. 3 tens is 1,000 times greater than 3 hundredths. And of course, to complete our whole number, we would need a 0 in the ones place. And in this final problem, we're going to do the same concept, except now we'll take a multi-digit number and divide it by 10, divided by 100, divided by 1,000. So in our first example, we have 745. 7 hundredths divided by 10 equals 7 tens. 4 tens divided by 10 equals 4 ones. And 5 ones divided by 10 equals 5 tenths. Now dividing by 100. 7 hundredths dividing by 100 equals 7 ones. 4 tens divided by 100 equals 4 tenths. That means it would take 400 tenths to equal 4 tenths. And then finally, 5 ones divided by 100 equals 5 hundredths. And finally, dividing by 1,000, 7 hundredths divided by 1,000 equals 7 tenths. 4 hundredths divided by 1,000 equals 4 hundredths. And 5 ones divided by 1,000 would equal 5 thousandths. Therefore, 5 thousandths is 1,000th of 5. 7 tenths is 1,000th of 700.